Hey Internet! So today I'm going to discuss the many different ways combat can be improved in the Elder Scrolls franchise. I mentioned this topic a couple of times before, but I feel it's extremely important for the next game to have combat better than your typical hack and slash. I personally would like for the new Elder Scrolls installment to be a unique experience rather than feeling like I'm swinging a foam sword around. So let's start with the problems of the current combat system. Most weapons from past Elder Scrolls games may have looked different and had different stats, but they all really felt the same. Not to mention the weapon skills were very unspecific in Skyrim and only had one-handed and two-handed skills to cover close quarters combat. So to fix this problem, we need to first add specific weapon skills such as axe, blade, spear, blunt, and hand-to-hand. Oh, and did I mention spears? That part is important. Not only will this differentiate the different weapon types, but it will make player builds way more specific, which is great for the role-playing experience. Another thing we can do is add new combat features to the mix as well, such as parrying and dodging, which would go under the acrobatic skills so as to add even more player depth and directions to go with your character's skill set. Now let's break it down to how those two should work. We can start with parrying. So commonly we are hacking away at our foes in Skyrim and they're hacking away at us, and it turns into a competition of who can do the most damage the fastest. Instead of that, the weapon should have more weight and physics. If I'm swinging a two-handed axe to someone and they're trying to hit me with their sword, then let's see them clang together and maybe even have a small percentage chance for the enemy to drop their weapon based on the size and weight of my weapon as well as my player's strength. On a normal basis, let's say when weapons impact each other, it slightly staggers both fighters, and on occasion, maybe with a certain button action, when you impact their weapon with your weapon, the view focuses just a bit more on the two weapons forcing against one another and it becomes a contest of strength and dexterity. There are different ways this can be done, such as button mashing, but that sounds repetitive and boring, so how about some stick-based feature like lockpicking? For instance, the left stick will move your weapon left or right, while the right stick could tilt your weapon up and down so that you literally have to fight for control against the AI. I honestly thought this sounded cool, but I'm not a game designer. What do you think about a parry feature like this? Let's not dodge the subject of dodging. Huh. See what I did there? Anybody? No? Okay. Jokes aside, I'm being completely serious. We need a dodge feature very similar to the one in Dying Light, except the speed and distance of the dodge would rely on how good your acrobatic skill level is. Now we have to ask ourselves, what else could improve combat? Spears, of course. Adding some short spears and long spears to Elder Scrolls isn't a question of should there be, but a matter of why was the feature taken out after Morrowind. I have no doubt that we will see the return of spears in Elder Scrolls 6, and if we don't, I'm pretty sure someone will mod it in, and surely consoles will have mod support on a common basis by then, so I think we will all have spears available to us in some form. Alright, moving on to hand-to-hand. It wasn't really in Skyrim as a skill, and it can be extensively improved from how it was in Oblivion, at least adding different moves like disarm and take down. That would be very interesting and create a completely different type of playstyle for fans. One last thing I'll add to this video is more ranged weapons. I love the addition of crossbows in Skyrim, and that needs to be a common weapon at the start of the next game rather than a DLC. Another thing to add is throwing weapons similar to Morrowind. Having javelins, throwing axes, throwing knives, and even shurikens would be a great added feature to the game, using them in a similar fashion to a sidearm or a grenade in a shooter with the button that triggers the use of the throwing weapon. Your character would lower their current weapon and quickly make use of their sidearm. Can you even imagine chunking a javelin at a bandit that jumps out at you, knocking him straight off a cliff in the process? Sounds just as awesome as Fusro dodging someone off a cliff if you ask me. Now that's about all I've got for this video. I think the features I've listed today alone would suffice my nerdy needs at least. What do you all think? Any other great combat improving features I might have overlooked? I've talked about an explosive skill in a previous video that I'll make a video about eventually, covering more detail on that, and I'm sure I'll make a video to cover magic as well. Thank you all for watching, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.